Hi guys, this is Emno, and we are back playing Hearts of Iron 4 with Dishonor DLC. The moment I stopped recording, I remembered that you can check the limits of various ideologies here. And you can see that guaranteed tension limit is plus 25%. Now, we are at 11, and conquering Bulgaria will not get us up all that high. War in Spain, I don't think is going to finish. Well, it's hard to tell really, but it may last a few more months. Our justification here, as you can see, is going to finish on November the 10th, which is in what 100 days or so. Well, not really, like 80 or so days. And another thing we need to consider is what Japan is doing, and Japan is going for Chinese border incident, which means that the next thing they're gonna go for is the war with China. And this will barely touch on the, well, it will increase it by 1, but not close enough to get it to 25, so we are not worried about. Once the war with China starts, we will be in the realm of 30s and 40s. For that reason, we simply need to win this war very quickly, redeploy to Hungary, and start. War with China will be, I think that's around 135 days from now, because this just started, which will land us in early January of the next year. Alright, so we should be able to pull it over, but as you can see, if I have not just started justifying this ASAP, it wouldn't be so. It wouldn't have been so easy. Alright, so let's. Are we in more or less position? Kind of, sort of. To win this, we need to basically push into Sofia and get Varna here. Let's slow it down, though. Let's see. Well, using that armor division would be nice to help with Sofia. So let's move it along a little bit, but that's about it. And you can stay. I wish there was a way to toggle this off and prevent them from moving, but alas, there is not. Oh, damn it. Sorry, I haven't disabled my Slack. There we go. Not sure if you were able to hear that, but... Alright, they're moving around here. Let's see. It would be nice. 22 hours, and this is in 1 day. Alright, so we are going to wait till this guy moves out of here, and we'll be able to just drive through. Perfect. Let's slow it down though. Well, maybe not that much. There we go. Let's declare the war, conquer. That put us at 13. And there we go. So let's see that those 3 will go here. Part of them will go here. Part of them will go here. They will attack here. Most will go through here. We just, like, our main goal is to power through here, which actually is a problem now when I think about it, because there isn't, well, there are 2 divisions against our, well, 2 divisions really. So this may be an issue. Let's push through it like that. But yeah, I think we should be good. Sadly, they have started attacking us in here before we were able to move, but this attack should fail very shortly. Germany wants to send volunteers. Now, the problem with that is it will bump the world tension a little bit, and well, it is beneficial to us because in a way that we would be able to just switch to war economy outright. But I think we'll just wait a few more months and play it safe. I'm not sure if there will be any other. Well, I'm not sure how much the end of the Spanish Civil War is gonna change things around. So let's just. Oh, okay. Well, I forgot about. Oh, and right, our planes. So we have 2 squads of fighters. Honestly, let's actually disband this wing and increase the size of this one. And because they were both fighters, so it doesn't really matter. And this is the so we'll be fighting in Eastern Balkans, and this is definitely the best airfield for that. Coverage is a very important thing because the mission efficiency amounts to what well, your coverage decides how big percentage of your air wing will actually participate in the fight when the air fight actually can continue. So, for example, if you have 50% coverage, if I were, for example, to send my units to Northern Balkans and station them here, that would be around, well, it's hard to tell, but 25% coverage, I would say, because it's covered only this bit, which means that for every 100 planes I send, that have to take off and land, and possibly be destroyed in accidents. Only 25 out of the 100 will actually take part in a fight, which means they will be outnumbered, yada yada yada. So coverage is, well, if you don't know anything else about Air Force, just make sure to get as much coverage as you can of the airplanes. And we will get on simply get on air superiority. And then I believe they will have some planes, but well, we shall see. And those fighter. Oh, and we actually want to. Doesn't matter here. I guess we can go no retreat or normal operations, and we'll just stay to. We'll just keep to flying during the day before that, because that's when most of the important fighting is going on, because at night both sides have very heavy penalties of minus 50%. So although this doesn't matter all that much to our fighters, because as soon how the air superiority works is simply the amount of assigned units, not the amount that is actually flying at this very moment. Which means that even at night, as you can see, we already have 100% air superiority. So that's one thing. But the second thing is that we don't have enough aircraft to effectively control the whole region, which means that effects of our air superiority will be applied only at 11% of their severity. As you can see on the bottom, with current amount of aircraft, we can effectively cover 11% of the region. Which is, of course, a little bit silly because, well, I don't need to cover that, well, 60% of the region anyway, but yeah, that's how it works. Which means that they are suffering for superiority here, and that superiority effect is only going to be 5.8 rather than 50% or so. Alright, so we finished that fight. I mean, their attack failed, of course, because they were fighting on 2 fronts. Sadly, they are also attacking into here, which will once again slow us down a little bit, but once again we should be able to once infantry arrives. Frankly, we probably need more infantry here, so let's let's move in. They should be able to break this attack and push through and grab Sofia. I'm not sure how it is. Well, in Polish it's Sofia, not Sofia, but well, who knows? Yeah, as I imagine, this attack is not going to be the easiest one, but even with not, well, we still have an advantage, even if our fairly weak divisions here. Another thing to consider is that since we are at war, we could do the King Michael's coup, but since this war is not gonna last 70 days on top of, well, 61 that we need to wait before we can finish it, this is definitely not worth it. We may decide to do it for the Hungarian war, but at that point, the second requirement, which is 25% war tension, will be there, so it doesn't really matter the whole being at war thing. Okay. Alright, yeah. Looking good. It's just this thing that keeps us from winning this. Let's speed it up. Oh, come on. Finish this. I should have, I guess, sent more infantry there. Okay, let's look. We lost 1k, they lost 2k, but that doesn't take those battles that are still raging into account, and well, now we can basically cancel it all, because we are just wasting manpower. Except this one, of course. I guess we shouldn't have finished this one, because they could have attacked here and disrupt this a little bit, but we're good. Okay, in case this keeps being an issue, we can just grab this bit as well, and yeah, the rest we can do it on autopilot. And of course we don't want to. How is the air war going? So as you can see, they have lower average efficiency, which also means lower coverage, but actual losses are pretty much even. On the other hand, sometimes you will see that you are fighting on fairly even grounds, but you are still losing. It's more often than not, if you look at those 2 bits, that's because your own accidental losses are listed, but you don't know how many enemy planes went down, failing to take off or land, and that's why those are not listed here, which will always skew those results in enemy's favor, or the way you see them, I mean. Oh. Okay, that was a mistake. Okay, now it's good. I don't want them to stop this thing, because it seems like this attack isn't going on all that great. Yeah, but more or less it's over. How long? 2 hours. Yeah, that should do it, eh? Yes, that has done it. Let's see how much we'll gain in terms of world tension in a sec. But first, let's take a look at this. So we definitely want it around that, I think. That requires us to buy 2 bits of. Actually, So Bulgaria doesn't really have anything of use, do they? Nope, just like 2 pieces of aluminum, so might as well just buy it outright. There we go, and you can stop all the attacks. And you can now deploy here. And take all states. And perfectly, that gets us just above 15, which means, let's pause. Oh. I think we are just below 15 though. No, okay, because I thought that was a day passed, but no, that already accounted for the, and by day I mean month in this case, which reduces the work tension by 0.5. In this case not, so we are at 15.1, which means that we can switch straight to war economy. And there we go. Are we any better? Oh, that guy. Okay, I hate when that happens. Okay, I'm confused what happened here exactly, but I think the moment when we actually annexed them, some of the factories like either disappeared or for a moment are being recounted. Let's see if things go back to normal, yeah? Nope, they have not gone back to normal. Well, either way, this factory that was assigned here virtually disappeared on us. That's although it seems that it hasn't reset quite yet. Okay. Alright, so now when we switched things around, well, I guess we'll repair all that, but we have access to plenty, to quite a few factories all of a sudden, and we are going to make use of those. As you can see here we can indeed build 5 factories, which pays for the infrastructure thing, and well, as for the rest, it's not great. But there is no point in actually increasing that, so let's just go with that, and we'll be increasing Muntenia, Olenia, and Banat, as you can see. So we'll wait for those things to finish there. I think I should have went with 60 first, then 50, but yeah, let's just not dwell on the details. I really wish you guys strategically redeployed through the mountains. That's always a good thing to do, in my humble opinion. There we go. Well, that all went pretty nicely. Okay, now let's put you guys here and assign you to this order. How many troops are we? So we are well, and at 350 in the field, and getting another. Well, we'll be close to 400, but now we'll basically bypass this by conquering. Yes, this will allow us to bypass if once we conquer them, which allow us to get split Czechoslovakia and divide Yugoslavia. So those are the things we'll focus on next. But for that reason, we will continue to just quick build all the units rather than reinforce the ones we already have in the field, because we need bodies. That's at least look from the distance like they have rifles on them. August, so not quite yet. I don't think excavation is quite worth it here. Air doctrine is probably something we need to consider shortly, so let's go with one with air doctrine. Second one, I think it's time to get recon companies, or even field hospitals considering. Well, for field hospitals we'll need motorized. Have we actually... okay, so we've gotten a little bit of motorized out of Bulgaria, which is nice. It should suffice for a while, so that's nice. Let's see. So for now, I think field hospitals are more important. Remember that there is a small issue of war against Soviet Union coming up, so we need to keep that in mind. I don't. If we manage to, we will at least attempt to stay out of the World War before and from joining Axis before the war with Soviet Union. So we shall see how that works. Once again, what is the requirement to invite the faction? Join faction, tension limit 50. Yeah. So yeah, perhaps we will be able to go to war against all those by using focuses that we are getting through by using war goals that we are getting through the focus tree, because this gives us a war goal, then this gives us a war goal before we can. Before they will be able to actually join faction and pull us into a war. Okay. That's about it. And here we need to just push towards Bucharest. Frankly, I don't want you to stay there at all, except perhaps one division. There you go. Let's just, play it a bit better this time around. Similarly here, I'd say maybe leave this division. You can of course you can use Z and X, but I keep forgetting. Yeah, and the rest of you get in the middle here, where we don't have to cross two rivers to do our thing. Sadly, we don't really have any airfields around here. We would have gotten some if we went with expand our air force, I believe, but actually that only gives us in Sofia and Moldova, so it wouldn't help either. Which means that our air force is, well, semi-useless, really. What is the range here? 30, and if we were to move there, 49. Alright. Not sure if I want to use them, because this may be costly for them, but yeah. Let's keep that in mind. At least we are prepared. Are we still suffering from? Yeah, okay. Embezzlement scandal went away, which should boost our production back into shape. And let's see. Yeah, but things are gonna will start to speed up fairly shortly. Now when we are actually building factories. And yes, 2 factories in here. And 3 factories there. There we go. We'll have to keep an eye on our production here, and by production I mean our lacking resources. Focus. So, for the sake of getting... so we can, as I discussed in the previous episode, either go with... Oh, damn. Okay, so... I think only now there will be some... Sorry, I cannot switch back the sound. I would have to stop the recording when we are 25 minutes in. Yeah, but sorry about that. There have been no in-game sound in this episode. No. Invite foreign motor companies once again will allow us to get some nice licenses from the Germans. Let's actually see, because I'm not sure how those things. So as you can see, the tech difference is now 30 on this. How about this? On this is 35. I'm not sure how this is calculated to be exact. Maybe I will check in the files later on, assuming that it's obvious there. So we are going to sacrifice 2 civilian factories to get that. There we go. Marco Polo Bridge incident. Our tension is ticking down slowly. Support weapons. We're in October, okay. So, war with China coming up shortly, but thankfully in a year we'll be able to finish this justification, and the rest of the justifications that we may require around here will not require an actual justification, so we're good. Now, so we can eat that, or so this will only hit our production efficiency growth rather than the rest of the things. I think we are going to eat this time around, because well, with the rising amount of factories we are putting out, and our still very deep holes in this whole thing. But on the other hand, that slows us down on the ability to get military tourists. But this is probably the last time we'll need to do that, because shortly we should be able to, once we go to war and once the China war starts, we will be able to finally get rid of the king. I mean, we will be getting quite enough army experience anyway. We will have to do quite a lot of training, so that's first, and secondly, well, we are fighting, and we'll probably have to fight for Yugoslavia as well, so. Fuck it. Well, that good. So, the thing about this is that after we pick that, we are pretty much set on the on our needs around here. There's not much we need out here, because this is just civilian factories and refineries. Later on we can pick Prince of Terror, but yeah, we are set. Sure, we need those bits here. Well, though I guess, well, we'll need some of the design companies, but we get some special ones, which is nice, that are cheaper and so on and so forth. So, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna be greedy, because I also want to cut down on some research with those. So we'll just keep eating factory output things. I think either way we should be able to win this war and win the war against Yugoslavia anyway. So let's hope. The other way was a bit more safe, so to speak. Okay, we have superior firepower. All right, so we will be taking delay, but in a sec. Let's just put this on this on this. Let's get, okay, so we're going to war in 7 days. Are our forces in the way I want them? Kind of, yeah. I want it the most out here. Yeah, it works. Alright, so we at 150. Now we can go to military tourists, although... wait. So it's 38. Okay, an option is, of course, to get electric concern, but it's not that... we will be researching that, but that's just a single research, although a fairly long one. And we will want to switch to industrial concern for this, so that's burning too much political power for my taste, so we'll just stick to our original plan and go with military terrorists. And now, once we've picked military terrorists, let's go one way to go, and we can use this to switch to those 30 days, because if those 30 days wouldn't have gotten the 7% decrease if we have started researching that before picking the guy. So we kind of saved up a little bit here and there. Right, and on, I believe, 10th or 11th of November, we should be able to go to war. But we are going to do that in the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you then with the music this time around. Cheers!